Alright guys, it's been a minute since I've done anything with paramotors, but I have a little project today. I'm going to freshen up some equipment. So I have the Moster 185 dual start on a PAP, and it's basically been in storage since winter, but I intend to sell it, and the reason is I'm going to be upgrading to the Moster 185 MY25. That's the newest model. A couple improvements. Let me show you what's improved. She's a beauty. And I'm interested in freshening up my gear. So what I'll do is I'll actually list this for sale. Someone else will get this motor at a really good price. They'll have a ton of life left in it. They'll feel good about the transaction, so will I. Alright, so let me just set this up here for a second and I'll show you this bad boy from the good folks over at Sky Sports. So we have the Moster 185 Plus. This is going to be the 287 reduction, which is going to allow me to spin the 140 prop. It's a dual start, and this is going to be the MY25 model. All right, actually here, this will be easier to see. So let me just spin around here. Wow, she's shiny. This is that new bushing that comes. All right, so there are going to be a few things I have to disconnect here. I'm going to start by just taking off the prop. We'll take off the pull start, throttle cable, the fuel line, and we'll even take off the harness. We'll take the old motor off, use 4 bolts to attach the new motor, and then we can start working back through the process of connecting all the components. All right, next we'll take off this air box. Okay, now I need to just make note of all of these connection points. Oh, that was easier than I thought. Gauze front coming through. All right, I'm gonna see if I can move this whole operation to the floor, and then I'll attach something so I can hold the motor up so I don't drop it. Okay, so here we have the 2 different engines. This is the Moster MY20, a couple years on it. And here is the new Moster MY25. And I just want to take a closer look so I understand, what is here. Because I do see, for example, the spark plug boot, the fuel line, and the mounts. Actually, I'll turn these 2 motors over and we'll take another look. 5 dual start. And here's the MY20 full start pulley. Oh, it has a new handle altogether. Okay, so that worked out pretty good. I used this ratchet strap to hold everything in place while I was able to line the bolts up. And now I'll just go ahead and tighten everything down. Make sure it's secure. Okay, so I'm in pretty good shape here. I'll show you. I've got the harness attached again. I've got the pull start attached. I have the fuel line, and I have the dual start. The only thing that I don't have attached right now is the throttle cable, and that's going to attach right here, but it's just a little bit different angle coming in through this than the last motor. So I'm going to spend a little time thinking about that tomorrow, and we'll be all set. Looking sweet. Okay, it took me a little bit of work just because I wanted to tidy everything up. I wanted to add my tachometer, mark the bolts with paint so I know if they're backing out. I wanted to get my throttle all set up properly and the dual start, get the prop on and torque down to spec. Got the spark plug and boot set up, and the pull start with the elastic so it doesn't go through my prop. So now let's start it up and see how she does. Break in the motor, do a little bit of tuning. Let's check it out now and see if we need to do anything else. Sounds good already. I want to see what the power feels like when I flip the throttle and when I go full power. She looks good, she feels good. I'm pretty content, so let's do our first flight tonight. I can see, you know, the sun is getting low. We probably have an hour and a half, 2 hours until sunset. The wind is still not ideal. It's a bit crosswind, maybe even a little bit downwind for the launch that I prefer, kind of going downhill here. So what I'll actually do is just wait another 30 minutes, and when it's completely dead, I'll launch in the direction I prefer. So guys, come join me on this flight. Let's see how she does in the air. Alright guys, step one complete, getting off the ground successfully. Felt really good. And I'm already building confidence with this motor just from the feel and the sound of it. You know, I started flying about 5 years ago, and back then when I launched, I would surely see no other paramotor pilots in the sky. Now, almost every flight that I take, I see someone up. Not yet tonight, but I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. Well, I'll say the air feels really good tonight. Mostly smooth. It is cold though. We've had a couple warm weekends here in North Carolina, and you start to feel like spring is almost here, but it'll still drop down into the 30s at night at times, so we're not quite there yet. Now this coming weekend I'll be in Florida. My friend Shane is having a fly-in at Hardy Lakes County Park, which is near Wauchula, and I'm really excited to see everyone. It's been a while, and the fly-in season is upon us here. Down past this park real quick. You see the pavilion and playground, pond and trails. Alright, so far so good with this motor, guys. The sound and the feel of the motor are confidence inspiring for sure. Running just like my last motor, and we'll just keep building time on it. When I fly, I always keep a landable option within glide slope of where I am flying. You know, a field like this in front of me, something like that, large yard. But particularly while I'm continuing to build hours on this motor, I'd say maybe the first 3 flights or so in particular, I'm going to be really extra cautious. Is that a deer? Drop in a little bit here. Let's go warm up. I've had enough for tonight. No other paramotors. That's the commercial flight. Alright, we'll go ahead and kill that motor. Lean forward a bit. Successful mission. Really happy about this motor and how the flight went tonight. Guys, come back and join me on the next one. It'll be a little bit warmer, no gloves, and we'll be flying with a bunch of other pilots down in Florida. Thanks for checking out the channel.